Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lightside Music Reactions. We've got a new request today. We are reacting to the song Cool Cat by the rock band Kix from the 80s. This is requested by Eric. Now, Kix was an American hard rock band formed in 1976, and it was popular in the 80s. I vaguely remember them. I don't remember any of their songs, but, apparently they had a few hits. Their band consisted of Ronnie Youngkins, Brian Forsyth, Donnie Purnell, Steve Whiteman, and Jimmy Chalfant. It says they covered Aerosmith, April Wine, and Led Zeppelin songs, plus others, before signing with Atlantic Records in 1981. Then after the late 80s, when the band peaked, the band continued to record and tour until they disbanded just recently in 2023, just a couple years ago. So I went ahead and looked this up, Cool Cat by Kix. And apparently the answer I got on Google is that Cool Cat isn't a Kix song, but a Queen song. So I did some more researching and found that Kix does have a song called Cool Kids. So that's what I'm reacting to today. And Eric, I hope this is the one you wanted. But this is Cool Kids by Kix, released in 1983. So let's go ahead and check it out. Cool Kids by Kix. Okay, this is a fun sounding song. It's definitely got that early 80s rock sort of feel. You got that guitar, that I've heard that before, but I can't place it where I've heard that song before, or that type style playing before. The lyrics, the way they're singing it out, it's kind of a chant sort of thing. You got the cool kids, everybody chanting that. Kind of like the Kiss sort of thing I mentioned in the recent videos. And recent reactions I've done. But let's check out these lyrics. It's basically a party song. The kids are hanging out, trying to figure out something to do on a Friday night. Hey, what you going to do on a Friday night? Where you going to go? We got to find some action. Baby, I'll meet you at the Paradise. Start a little chain reaction. So it's like, get all the kids together, get everybody out here. We're going to go look for something to do. Hey, anybody got a cigarette? Thanks. Anybody here got a dime? Okay, so obviously, I'm not going to promote smoking here. I don't think that's a great thing for the kids to be doing, is passing cigarettes. But that's part of the 1980s rock sort of scene. This is the kind of stuff they're going to be talking about on there. Probably going to go out and get into some trouble. You know how kids are. They say idle hands are the devil's playground is an old saying. You got a bunch of kids with nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to occupy their time. They're going to go out and they're going to do things to get themselves in trouble. And so that's where I think it's good that you have things like the YMCA. It's been a big thing over the years, over the decades, for places for young people to go to get into activities and stay out of trouble. When my band was touring, the tri-state, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, was where we generally toured. But we often played at places like the YMCA. They would have an event like on a Friday night or a Saturday night, and we'd go and play for that for the kids, local teenagers and stuff. Keep them out of trouble. They've got the swimming pools and stuff. They can go and swim, get them off the streets. And also a bunch of churches back then in the 80s and 90s, they would have these programs to get kids off the streets. basketball sort of thing, where you get the kids to form a team and, give them something to do to keep them occupied on the weekends and out of trouble. So they're not going out on the street and getting into the drugs and cigarettes and, the wild parties and doing stuff that's going to be self-destructive. And so I really enjoyed our band whenever we was able to do stuff like that. A church would call us and say, hey, we've got this group of teenagers and we want to have some entertainment for them for the weekend. And we'd gladly go and play for them. And, of course, we'd talk to the organizers, and they would have those programs as well, the basketball and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's fantastic. I don't know if we've got those sort of things today. It's a completely different society we've got today, our culture. Today, everything is computerized. Everybody's got their cell phones. And honestly, it's a lot easier for kids to get in trouble these days just on their phones, because it connects you instantly with the world. And as good a thing as technology can be to give you resources, it could also be a bad thing, because as easily as it can connect you with good things, it can also connect you with bad things. And so parents, make sure your teenagers have stuff that they can do that will keep them busy, that are positive things, and so that they won't be going out on the streets and getting in trouble. When I was a teenager and when I was a young adult, latchkey kids was a big thing. And basically what that is parents would work. You got parents that both the mother and the father, if there is even a mother and father both in the home, they would have to work 2 jobs. And so kids would come home from school and there'd be nobody there. And so one of the things I did when I first went into ministry is I worked with a Sunday school youth group, and we had an after-school program in our small community. And when kids would get out of school, they'd come over to the church, and we'd have activities for them to do to keep them out of trouble till their parents got home, was able to come pick them up. That kept them off the street and kept them from getting into trouble. And I still hear from some of those teenagers now. Now they're adults, but they were teenagers and kids back then, and they comment about how they formed some really good memories from those times, and how it was a positive thing in their life and help keep them from getting in trouble, where some of their other friends that didn't have those, that were like from a different town, ended up getting into trouble and stuff. So, if you can organize something like that in your community, if it doesn't have anything like that to keep the kids out of trouble, I encourage you to try to do something like that. But here they're talking about going out on a Friday night and looking for something to do. The chorus is, we want cool kids out on the corner, cool kids out on a limb, cool kids looking for someone, looking for something, looking for somebody. Kids are all right. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into it for the second verse. Is that a Bon Jovi kind of riff? That na 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 na. I like that harmony. It's kind of a raw sound. All right. Okay, second verse. We go cruising down the avenue, lean out the window at the stoplight. You ever seen any of those movies from the 1950s? They weren't necessarily filmed in the 50s. More than likely, they were filmed in like the 80s and maybe the early 90s, but they're set in the 1950s time period. You got the kids cruising down the streets, hanging out the windows and yelling at the girls, on the streets and stuff. And at the stoplight, trying and doing your drag racing sort of thing was big back in the 50s with the hot rod cars and everything, trying to impress the girls. Just trying to shake up the Main Street Blues. Main Street Blues, I assume that's a reference to the Police. Trying to break out into the hot night. Anybody got a situation? Is there any place to go? And then back to the chorus, and it looks like it repeats that word for word. All right, so let's go ahead and get back into it. I'm thinking, is that Bon Jovi? Is Bon Jovi that has that kind of guitar lick, that some of Bon Jovi's early stuff, maybe, or maybe it's another band that's similar to Bon Jovi. But anyway, that's bugging me trying to think of where I've heard that sort of riff before. Okay, let's get back into it. That our guitarist, I can't remember if it was Travis or I think it was Travis. It was either Travis or Joel on one of our songs did that on one of the leads. It's like I'm sure they didn't get the inspiration from Kicks, but that's probably a common sort of riff thing. But, as soon as I heard that, I pictured, I think it's Travis was playing that. I'll have to look that up, find out which song that is of ours that does that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back into it. All right. Nice little throwback to the early 80s. Those are my growing up days. This is the kind of music. I didn't start out listening to this when I was in the early 80s. Some of my friends were listening to this kind of stuff. And I started out listening to more like the pop, the 80s pop, like the synth pop and stuff like that. And a lot of the country music that was coming out in those days too. Not necessarily the classic country. I did listen to some of that, but a lot of the modern country that was coming out in the early 80s. But mostly it was like the pop music that I listened to back then, the 80s pop. And then as I got a little bit older, around the mid 80s, I started listening to the rock, this kind of stuff. And I started getting to Metallica, like the Black Album sort of stuff. I never really did get into like the speed metal, like in Metallica's early stuff. But their power ballads from the 80s is one of my favorite genres. And this kind of predates that a little bit. This isn't exactly a ballad, of course. I imagine Kix probably did a couple of the power ballads. But you probably remember the commercials on TV if you're old enough. The power rock, I forget what they're called, but you could buy a collection. And I ended up buying a couple of those when I was a teenager too. They had all the great power ballads of the day. Cinderella and Bon Jovi and all the bands that had those lovely ballads that just great love songs that weren't really screaming sort of thing, but really driving instruments and stuff. And so this isn't exactly a throwback to that, but it's the same era and the same bands that made those kind of songs popular. And so this is a nice throwback to my teenage years. So thank you for recommending it. Once again, I hope this is what you wanted, Eric. If not, let me know if it's the Queen song that you wanted and not this one. And I'll go ahead and react to that one too. But anyway, if you guys want to check out this song without me talking over it and interrupting it, go ahead and check out the link in the description. But before you go, hit the like button if you enjoyed my reaction. Comment down below and give me your recommendation on songs that you want me to react to. And here's how you can win an entry in our 500 subscriber giveaway that's coming up here just a couple episodes away. All you have to do is, in the comments, give me a song request that you want me to react to. Name the song title, the name of the artist that sings the song, and include in the same post the hashtag TLS500. That's hashtag TLS500. If you have all three of those elements in that one single post, then you will get one entry in our drawing to win the free prize on our 500 subscriber giveaway. You can enter as many times as you want. Just give me a new request for a song that you haven't already requested, and we'll go ahead and react to as many of your songs as you guys can request. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you know we do have that 500 subscriber special, and you can see if you won. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time on the Light Side Music Reactions. Bye, everybody.